Now the law of cosines is another option. The law of cosines looks a little bit more complicated, but you can't always use the law of sines. If you're not given enough information to fill in 3 of those 4 ratios, you have to go to something different. I prefer to think about the law of cosines this way. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. And the reason I like to do that is I like to think of the beginning and ending partners. I can start with any side and its angle and then fill in the other 2 sides. So I could start with cosine of b and its side b and write b squared is equal to c squared plus a squared, the other 2, minus 2 times ac times the cosine of, I started with side b, I end with angle b. And I create like these bookends. So if you know all 3 sides, you have to use the law of cosines. If you know different combinations depending on what you want to find, you may have to use this. So let's look at how it works. Find the length of EF, which would be side D. Well, I have that side angle side situation. If I tried to set up a law of sines, I would have the sine of 60 over D, don't know the angle, can't find the angles. I can't use the law of sines. Law of sines is easier in calculations, but we can't always use it. So here are my partners. So I'm going to start with d squared. That's equal to the 2 sides squared minus 2 times those sides times the cosine of 60. Now be very, very careful with your order of operations. This all needs to be multiplied before you subtract it from that sum. Be very careful. So I have that d squared is equal to 49 plus 36 minus 84 times 1/2, because the cosine of 60 is 1/2. So I have d squared is equal to 49 plus 36 minus 42. D squared is 43. Take the square root. D is approximately 6.6. So if you're just very careful with showing your work and with the calculations, it's not bad. So find the measure of x. So here I have the side, side, side situation. Clearly the law of sines is not going to work. So if I set up the sine of x and its side, that's my law of cosines. So I'm going to start with 5.39 squared is equal to the other 2 sides, 7.6 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 5 times 7.6 times the cosine of x. This is my only unknown, so I have to get everything away from it. Again, be very, very careful with your order of operations. So I have 29.05 is equal to 57.76 plus 25 minus, now I can multiply these together, 76 cosine of x. This is multiplication. You can't combine this 76 with as a subtraction, so you've got to protect that multiplication. So 29.05 is equal to 82.76 minus 76 cosine of x. So I just added. Now I'm going to subtract 82.76 from both sides, because this is multiplication first. I cannot subtract that. So I end up with negative 53.71 equal to negative 76 cosine of x. Now I can divide both sides by negative 76. This is another point where you will need to remember that cosine and sine values are always less than 1, because if this number here is not less than 1, you made a mistake. When I go to my calculator, I get 0.71 etc. is equal to cosine of x. I want the angle out, so I'm going to use my inverse feature on my calculator. And I'm going to find out that the angle is a 45-degree angle. So just be very careful with your order of operations and everything will work out fine. Go ahead and try the practice problems and tune in for part 3.